Hello viewers, welcome to the session on English for my world. Well, we live in a world where we come across several kinds of problems. Well, life is not only problems, but we may have to face different kinds of problems at different times. In today's session, we are going to study how to express our opinions in different contexts. In fact, when we are moved by something very seriously, when we are sensitive to the happenings around us, we tend to express our emotions about those happenings, those developments. For instance, people write letters to editors of newspapers or editors of magazines. Some of them also have the habit of writing small poems and articles. Well, if we may not be very proficient to write articles and poems, we should be at least able to present our problem in a way that is comprehensible. By the word comprehensible, I mean to say something that the other person can understand, something that the listener can understand, something that the reader can understand. So for that, we need to have words and sentences, the correct verbs. When it comes to English language, we need to have certain conjunctions and prepositions, adverbs, adjectives, right passive forms of the verbs, correct tenses, and most importantly, the correct method of expressing the problem properly to the reader. So in this session, let us take the example of the pathetic condition of roads in a particular colony, in a specific colony. The president of the colony is writing to the municipal commissioner, GHMC commissioner, about the pathetic condition of roads in a colony. So he writes to the commissioner by addressing him as Sir, and he says, I would like to bring it to your kind attention that the condition of the roads in our colony is very pathetic, is deplorable. Remember, I'm using lots of standard expressions or standard phrases used in writing a small complaint or writing a mini complaint, a request letter. Because language should enable me, English language should enable one to express oneself confidently and fluently, both in spoken communication as well as in written communication. One can be a fluent speaker, but if he cannot jot down his thoughts, if he cannot pen down his thoughts in simple sentences, in simple English, maybe a 2-line complaint or a 3-line complaint to the commissioner or to the apartment president or maybe to the counselor of a particular colony. What is the use of having learned or having studied English for several years? So one should be able to express oneself properly both in the spoken communication as well as in the written communication. I'm going to help you with such kinds of simple complaints or simple request letters that we are supposed to write to different kinds of authorities at different times. So now the president of the colony is writing to the commissioner, municipal commissioner, stating, I would like to bring it to your kind attention. The condition of the roads in our colony is pathetic, is very deplorable. So when I say pathetic or deplorable, the roads are in a very poor condition, in a very shameful condition. Because in the recent rains, the roads are damaged very badly, and we can see potholes everywhere on the roads. The bike riders have a very tough time to go through our roads, to pass through our roads. In fact, there were several instances, several cases when the bike riders skidded and sustained injuries. I therefore request you to take necessary action in this regard. Sincerely, and the President signs and sends his email. Because nowadays no one has time to write something on a paper. But if you are supposed to write it on a piece of paper, let your handwriting be legible first of all. Let the spellings be correct, because in this information technology explosion, people are completely forgetting the spellings. So we are actually cross-checking our spellings when we write something on a piece of paper. So when you write it on a piece of paper, make sure that the handwriting is legible and the spellings are correct, and whatever 2 lines or 3 lines that you write on that piece of paper is understandable to the reader or to the authority whom you are addressing to, whom you are complaining to. Right. So what sort of lines or what sort of words have I used in explaining or complaining about the pathetic condition of roads in that colony? Shall I write it briefly for your understanding on the board? Here I go. Well, I began with, of course, date is something we always write, and it is necessary when we begin the letter. When you write your email or when you write a complaint letter to the commissioner, of course you have the address of the commissioner, and if you are posting it, of course you write it as the commissioner. Imagine it is GHMC, Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, and your salutation is sir. Remember, we call this as salutation. And you introduce yourself by saying, I am Rahul Verma, the president of NGO's colony. Ramnagar, Hyderabad. So when you say NGOs, it cannot be singular, it has to be NGOs and plural or an apostrophe. So I am Rahul Verma, comma, the president of NGOs colony, comma, Ramnagar, comma, Hyderabad. The condition of roads in our colony is deplorable. So by the word deplorable, you have to use these kinds of words in letter writing. are simple complaints, petitions, requests, because this is standard English, official English. And when by the word deplorable, I mean to say it's in a pathetic condition, it's in a very bad shape. Potholes pose a big problem for the bike riders. Your immediate action will be is the need of the hour. Your instant action or your immediate action is the need of the hour. So, very briefly, you introduce yourself by saying, I am so and so, and you mention your designation, because the reader or the commissioner should know that the designation, the position of the complainant. Remember, the one who complains is the complainant. President of a particular colony, in a particular locality, in Juwas colony, Ramnagar, Hyderabad. Remember, Hyderabad I wrote as acronym. Now, the condition of roads in our colony is deplorable, is very pathetic. The roads in our colony are in a very bad shape. Potholes pose a big problem for the bike riders. So when you say potholes, the road that is damaged badly here and there, and those potholes are very dangerous for any of the bike riders. And probably one more sentence can be added here. There are several instances, there are several cases where bike riders skidded on the road and sustained injuries, and they sustained several injuries. Therefore, your immediate action is the need of the hour. So, let me add therefore, or you can say hence. Hence, your immediate action is the need of the hour. So remember, need of the hour is one phrase that you can remember. Need of the day, need of the hour. Your instant action, your immediate action is the need of the hour. Or you can also say, kindly arrange to take immediate action, or kindly arrange to take instant action in this regard. Well, writing is definitely something that is practiced by writing, because a writer can develop his writing skills by writing, as a reader can develop his reading skills by reading more and more. A writer can develop his writing skills by writing more and more. So the best method of developing writing skills is to practice writing. Maybe mini complaints, or petty complaints such as this, or petty requests to take necessary action, to initiate necessary action. One should practice writing these kinds of emails, or maybe on a piece of paper these kinds of letters, complaints to the authorities. Remember, all these linkers are connecting words, progression markers. In this sentence, the linkers are therefore, or hence. Your immediate action is the need of the hour. Potholes pose a big problem for the bike riders. There are several cases, several instances where the bike riders they skidded. When the surface is very slippery, someone skids. So here the reason for the bike riders to skid on the road is the potholes, the uneven roads. So bike riders skidded and sustained injuries. They sustained injuries. So you should remember these kinds of word combinations or word orders. Remember, bike riders, they skidded. They fell on the road. They lost their balance while riding the bike, and they sustained injuries. So this can be a strong reason for the authorities' action to be executed or implemented with immediate effect, to be incorporated with immediate effect. So the reason has to be highlighted properly, showcased properly, emphasized properly for the immediate action of the authorities. Yeah, we do write several letters, request letters, complaints in our day-to-day life. We do send several emails on that. But how good are those emails? How correct are those letters in terms of grammar, in terms of words, in terms of word order, word combinations, correct word in the correct place? Those letters can actually pull those authorities to swing into action and to take immediate action on the complaint that is given by the complainant. Right. So if this is one of the complaints, let us see another petition or another email where a tenant or a resident of an apartment is complaining to the president of the apartment about the noise pollution or about the nuisance that is created by the tenants who are living on the third floor. Remember, the tenant is living on the second floor, or the complainant is living on the second floor. The family that is living on the third floor, that is above this apartment, above his apartment, so the kind of problems that are faced by this tenant, he is trying to explain all those things in the form of an email or in the form of a letter to the president of the apartment. Let us see what sort of words are used here. How does the tenant complain to the president of the apartment about the problems faced by him every day? What sort of nuisance is created? For instance, the family that is living on the third floor, I am a tenant who is living on the second floor, and the family who is living on the third floor is creating nuisance in the odd hours or in the late hours of the night. They clean their vessels or they clean their dishes at 12 o'clock in the night. They mop the floor at 12 o'clock in the night. And it is very difficult, very disturbing and irritating for us to sleep peacefully in the night. I therefore request you to please instruct them, to please suggest them not to cause inconvenience, not to cause disturbance to the neighbors living in the apartment. Your immediate action will be appreciated. So the lines, the words, the sentences should persuade the person to take necessary action. Because the meaning of persuasion is appealing to a person by means of logic or rationale. So when the words, when the sentences are really appealing in terms of rationale, in terms of logic, we can expect immediate action. We can expect instant action on the complaint that is given by the complainant. So viewers, we have been listening to the program on how to write simple emails or simple letters, complaint letters, request letters, petitions. Here we go, and we are now going to write to the president of an apartment about the noise pollution or the disturbance that is created by the family that is living in a different floor or above the floor of the resident who is complaining. Here we go. In simple 2 lines or 3 lines, I am going to write this. One is, yes, we are writing to the president. So the resident is complaining to the president. So, sir, I am Pradeep, living on the second floor of our apartment. Remember, the tenant is introducing himself by saying, I am Pradeep. I am one of the residents. Living, remember, never use the word staying. Staying is always for a temporary stay. It is never for permanent stay. He is the resident of the apartment, so don't use the word staying, use the word living. Living where? On the second floor of our apartment. On the second floor, you can also mention 204. Living on the second floor, flat number 204. Of our apartment. The family living on the third floor flat number 304, that means exactly above the complainant's flat, exactly above this flat. If this is 204 flat, above this flat is 304. So the family living on the third floor, flat number 304, is causing nuisance in the odd hours. In the odd hours. So by the word odd hours, we are talking about 12 o'clock in the night, 1 o'clock in the night. Maybe that can be mentioned within brackets. 12 or 1 o'clock in the night. 12 or 1 o'clock in the night. And the next sentence can be, they clean the vessels, they mop the floor, and it is really very irritating and disturbing for us to sleep peacefully in the night. I request you to direct them to stop causing inconvenience to us. I request you to instruct them to stop causing inconvenience to us in such odd hours. In such odd hours. Thank you sincerely. So in this letter again, you should know how to introduce yourself. Where do you live? What is the actual problem that is caused? Family living on the third floor, causing nuisance in the odd hours. So maybe in the third sentence we have to say, they clean the vessels. They clean the vessels. They mop the floor. In the night, at such odd hours, at 12 o'clock in the night, at 1 o'clock in the night, they clean the vessels, they mop the floor. And this is causing all the nuisance for us, and we are not able to sleep peacefully in the nights. I request you to instruct them, to direct them to stop causing this inconvenience. You can also say your immediate action will be appreciated. Shall I write it here for you, the last sentence? Your immediate action will be appreciated. You can end that small letter by saying thank you or sincerely. Remember, this kind of simple letter writing is essential, is the need of the hour. So one should know how to frame such sentences, how to go for the right word combinations, what sort of words are used in complaining or in sending your complaints. So learn them, write or keep practicing, keep writing such emails, keep writing such letters, explaining your problems, explaining the difficulties that you face in your day-to-day life, and prove yourself as the correct English language user. Thank you for watching.